Update. My ex-wife divorced me after she got cancer so that she could leave first. Now she wants to come back. Should I give her another chance? Original post. I, 34 male, met my wife, I'll call her Anna, 32 female, during our first year of university. We dated through university and got married right after her graduation. Things were happy for a while until Anna discovered a lump in her right breast. I encouraged her to have it checked out. She was reluctant to do so, but ultimately did, because breast cancer runs in her family. And sure enough, that's what she had. The good news, if it can be considered good news, was that the cancer she had was extremely treatable with chemo and radiation. Based on her family history, her doctor also recommended a double mastectomy for her. This put Anna in a really dark place. I suggested she go to therapy, but she outright refused and said she never wanted to hear me suggest that again. So I did my best to be encouraging and supportive to her. I took time off work to be at every appointment with her. I took on 100% of the household chores both inside and out. I did all of the shopping, drove Anna everywhere she wanted to go. I planned out special dates for us. I gave her an hour-long foot massage every night. I literally did whatever I could. About 6 weeks into her treatment, Anna brought up the idea of going to stay with her sister Sarah for a week. This honestly relieved me as I was burning the candle at both ends, trying to accomplish everything, and I thought some time apart would help us both. 2 nights into her stay with Sarah, Anna called me and said she wanted a divorce. She said she had read a lot about men who abandon their wives when their wives get sick, and that she was determined to leave me before I could leave her. I can't put into words how much this crushed me. I loved my wife. She was my everything. I begged her to reconsider, told her I had never thought of leaving her, not even once. I asked her again to go to therapy. She refused again. I asked her to go to couples therapy with me. She wouldn't. I asked her what I could do to convince her I wanted to stay. She said there was nothing. I am a man and therefore I would leave. End of story. It took about a year because of where we live, thanks COVID, but eventually everything was finalized. I ended up selling the house and splitting the proceeds between me and my now ex-wife. I didn't want to stay in that town anymore, so I put in a transfer request at my job and ended up moving to a town about 2 hours away. For the past couple of years, I've been focusing on myself more. I got a dog. I've been on a few dates, but nothing serious. I picked up hiking as a hobby and started gardening. Out of the blue, Anna called me 3 weeks ago. She said she'd been in town on a trip with friends and saw me, and all of her old feelings rushed back. She said she was sick and out of her mind at the time, and that I couldn't hold her words or her actions against her. She said she still loved me, that she always had, and that she regretted leaving me. She begged me to give her another chance. I'm so confused. If I'm being honest, I still love Anna, but I'm no longer in love with her. She broke my heart. I was devastated when she ended things. It took me a long time to get my head on right, but I also know she really was in a bad place because of the cancer. Do I owe it to her and what we had to hear her out? I'm scared that if we reconnect, I'll always feel like she'll have one foot out the door. But maybe that's unfair. I don't know what to do. Should I give her another chance like she wants? Now for the top advice before reading the update. I never recommend couples getting back together unless the issues that drove them apart are fixed. Cancer was not the problem. Lack of communication, trust, and a willingness to compromise were on her end. She made unilateral decisions without caring how it affected you. She refused therapy. The way you're writing this, it's still all about what she wants, which sounds like the dynamic that destroyed your marriage. So what changed? I wouldn't do it. But if you want to open the door, you need to start with brutally honest couples therapy, and her active and honest participation is non-negotiable and a deal breaker otherwise. Have the therapy to hash out and bury the past, and see if dating is an eventual possibility. You guys need to start from scratch. And it's okay if you try it and you can't move on like she expects you to. She hurt you, regardless of her motivations. Sometimes you can't undo things. Like going to therapy during an extremely difficult, traumatic time in your life is something you shut down and demand your loved one never mention, becoming emotionally healthy ever again. If you do try again, therapy should be non-negotiable. The fact that she refused therapy while going through breast cancer really makes me nervous for the future of the relationship. I'm absolutely not saying everyone has to process things the same way, but a situation like that is what therapy is there for, and I would hope any partner I have might at least consider giving it a chance. She said she was sick and out of her mind at the time, and that I couldn't hold her words or her actions against her. She hasn't changed. Here she is refusing to take responsibility for her actions when you both know you gave her every opportunity to find help. If she really wanted to make things work with you, why did it take her seeing you by chance to do something? No, she's just lonely and is trying to shoot her shot because she's betting you're not over her. Exactly. She's over 30 and still won't even take responsibility for her actions. Cancer doesn't change your personality like that, not your values. She's the same person who divorced him and hasn't changed. Now for the update. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who left comments on my original post. I now know what people mean when they say, "rip my inbox." I posted that and went to bed never expecting it would blow up so much. By the time I woke up, the post was locked. Not sure why, so I couldn't respond to any comments. But I read as many as I could and tried to take everything into consideration. Many of you suggested I reach out to my ex-wife Anna for an in-person conversation. The overwhelming consensus was that meeting her in person would tell me all I needed to know. And you were right. That seemed reasonable to me. I texted her, and she jumped at the chance to meet, and we did so yesterday after I was done with work. I chose to ask her to meet at a local coffee shop. Maybe it sounds bad, but I didn't want to meet her at my house or anywhere private just in case. Anyway, Anna was already there when I got there. She got up and hugged me. I let her, but didn't hug her back. Then we sat down. I asked her to remain quiet while I talked, and then I told her everything. I'm going to sum it up here because I honestly don't remember everything I said. I think I talked for like 10 minutes straight while she just sat there and teared up. But I told her things like how much she had devastated me. I told her that I would have stuck with her through thick and thin no matter what. I told her that I loved her, and that hadn't changed after her diagnosis or treatment plan. I told her that I was broken after she initiated the divorce. I told her how hard it was for me to pull myself back together. A lot of you pointed out that if Anna and I got back together, I should be worried about what she would do the next time she got sick, or if I got sick. And you were right. So I told her that too, and she got mad and interrupted me at that point. She said I was being unfair, that I wasn't taking into consideration her mental health at the time. She said she wasn't thinking straight, but that now she was. I took the chance to ask her if she'd been to therapy. She told me she hadn't, and that she had no plans to, and that she didn't need it. I have to admit, that crushed me a little. I asked her why. Just why? It's the one question I've really wrestled with over the months. And she said that she'd gone looking for support groups and found a lot of women who had stories about their partners leaving. She even mentioned Reddit, funnily enough. She said she talked it through with her sister Sarah. Anna said that Sarah, to her credit, had tried to dissuade her from divorcing me. But that between social media and some of Anna's friends, Anna felt like she had to go through with it to be seen as a strong woman. That is word for word what she said to me. I don't remember anything else exactly, but I will never forget that. She broke my heart and threw away our relationship because somehow in her mind, that translated to being strong. She then started trying to tell me we could get back together again, but at that point, I just told her flat out that wasn't happening. What it comes down to for me is that I just can't trust her. I would always be worrying about the same thing happening again. She cried a lot and tried convincing me for a little while. When I got up to leave, she threw her iced coffee in my face and stormed out. So yeah, we're definitely not getting back together. I have the closure I always wanted. I wish it felt better. I've been dwelling on it for the past day and a half. I keep wondering if there's something I could have done better, some way I could have saved our relationship. But I know there's not. I've blocked her number. I kind of hope I never hear from her again. Good Lord, this woman sounds terrible. Perfect example of a sympathetic life situation, getting cancer, not turning a bad egg into a good one. Imagine doing all of this hideously hurtful stuff to someone, taking no responsibility, and then throwing a drink in his face like a real housewife. I feel a bit like crap saying this, but this woman both had cancer and was a cancer. It's terrible that it all happened, but I genuinely think that OP would have had a worse time later on if it hadn't. If it wasn't this, it would have been something else. Crappy people can get sick too. My aunt has always been a colossal a-hole, and getting cancer didn't change that. She'd beg my mom to come help her, then spend their time together berating her until she left, and then whine to everyone that she was abandoned by her family. She had a girlfriend with the patience of a saint who was willing to put up with all of that, but then she cheated, said, "But I have cancer" as the only excuse, and then whined that she got walked out on because she had cancer. She's fine now, but we still don't talk because she's still a piece of shit. Also because she's still holding a grudge against me for something my mom said to her when I was a toddler. My very first memory of her was her insulting me when I was about 4 to 6 years old. So yeah, sometimes crappy people get cancer. That's life. This woman threw her relationship away and destroyed a man she was supposed to love, all to impress some strangers on the internet. So happy OP didn't take this awful woman back. She reminds me a bit of the woman who told her husband she was going to cheat on him because she survived cancer, therefore she deserved a hall pass. Next story. I, 29 female, broke up with my partner, 30 male, after a surprise party. I'm looking to see how others would have reacted to this situation. For context, I've been dating my now ex for 5 months. Things were mostly smooth, except for the little things that were becoming consistent. He would often change, delay, and/or cancel plans last minute for a variety of reasons. He often knew things would change, but didn't let me know until right before we were to meet up. He was 30 minutes late to our first date. I'm a person who really values their time and requires a bit of planning. I have been understanding, forgiving, and flexible with his ever-changing timeline. I did bring up several times that if this became consistent, it would be a problem. Then I told him that it would be a complete deal breaker if he canceled big plans. He always promised to make it up to me, but never did, and he never changed. Well, that time came. He was away for work for a month, with minimal to no contact due to the nature of his work. We had planned to rejoice the night he came back. It started off with him saying he'd come straight to my place. Then he said he needed to drop off stuff and get clothes at his place. He lives with his family. A few minutes later, he called me to tell me he was staying to have dinner with his parents. I told him that it was upsetting because I had dinner waiting for him. His first question was to ask what it was. Then he texted me to tell me he wouldn't be long and insisted he'd come over even after I said not to worry about it right now. I'm waiting and waiting. I got a call but couldn't answer right away, and then received a text stating that his family had a surprise party for him and that he wasn't coming at all after all. No invite, no acknowledgement of the hurt, and a vague non-committal plan to come over first thing tomorrow. That was it for me. I waited a whole month for him and planned several days in advance to have a nice dinner. Cleaned my apartment top to bottom, shaved, got dolled up. For nothing. I called him out and told him that it was weird his family planned a surprise party, knowing we had plans, and didn't even bother to invite me. He started backpedaling and saying I was invited and that he wanted to see me. I stood my ground and told him that I couldn't do this anymore. I stayed firm in my decision and had him pick up his things the next day. I wonder if I was too harsh in not having a more in-depth conversation about the issue, although my decision would have been the same. Now for the top comments. He doesn't respect you or your time. His lack of awareness of you and your valuable time is enough for me to also break up with someone. You aren't his priority. Thanks for the clarity. I knew that this was the case, but was letting my feelings cloud my judgment. When I see a post like this, I feel strangely invigorated. When you see all the posts of people being trampled over by their partner, then you see posts like this. The gaslighting, narcissism, manipulation, the many forms of abuse, and much more. It can be a lot for the reader to take in. I just want to say good for you. I'm proud of you. I wish I'd known what you know sooner. My life would have been a lot different. I'd change his contact name to Tardy in my phone because I'm ruthless. And if he messages you, it's a reminder. Let me guess, he was also late when picking up his belongings? If so, that should really cement your decision. Haha, there was no set time, but he got to my place later than he should have been there. Drive to my place from his is 20 minutes. Arrived an hour after he said, "On my way." Made me crack up to read this. Thanks. Last story. My 31 female husband, 30 male, did not get me anything for my birthday because it was too much pressure. We've only been married since December, but have been together for 3 years and have known each other for 5. He's one of the nicest people I've ever known, and he's gone out of his way to help me even before we were dating. He knows how important my birthday is to me, but he's always not cared about his. This year, because I know it's difficult for him, I started reminding him months in advance to figure out a plan and a gift. It needs to be said that my net income is about 3 times his, so I wasn't expecting diamonds or anything, just relatively cheaper stuff that I couldn't justify buying for myself. I also sent him links to things that I found cool but couldn't justify buying, Kill Bill t-shirt and some fake earrings. He got nothing. He said he was trying very hard to find something that I would like and just couldn't figure anything out. That was one fight. The second was about how he went about getting the cake. I asked him to place the order in advance because I feel more comfortable planning ahead of time. He insisted that he knew the bakery and he could easily get the cake an hour in advance. The day before my birthday, I asked him once again if he could just place the order, and he snapped at me. At that moment, I gave up. I told him to cancel everything and I went out with strangers and celebrated with them. He called asking if he could join, but I said no. He apparently got an emergency therapy session, and the therapist also told him that was a dick move. I know he didn't mean to hurt me, and he's been apologizing and offering to buy me whatever I want, but I'm not able to let my anger go. He knew this was important to me, and he went out of his way to ruin it for me, and I'm not able to get over it. How do we move forward from this? I need help and advice. Couples therapy is on the table, but right now I'm still too angry to have a conversation. P.S. I also plan his birthdays and get him gifts. He's the nicest person you've ever known? Right? Then she's been around some awful people. Or is he only nice when she's doing what he wants? I know he didn't mean to hurt me. I question this OP. If you give someone idiot-proof guidance on what you like, and they simply choose to ignore it, what do you think the endgame is there other than to hurt you? He knew this was important to me, and he went out of his way to ruin it for me, and I'm not able to get over it. Yes, this is the key. He knew what you wanted, and he chose to do the opposite. Maybe because he enjoys the power trip of depriving you of something that would make you happy, or of making you feel devalued in small, plausibly deniable ways. The why doesn't really matter. It's deliberate passive aggression, and you shouldn't tolerate it. If this guy is anything like my ex, he's sabotaging something important to her because he's feeling upset and insecure. Birthdays, anniversaries, family events, and even funerals were weaponized. He'd kick up drama the day of, never sooner, and the day would end with him as the focus. It was like I couldn't love anyone else, including myself, without having to prove that I loved him first. It was exhausting.